Grand Rising Loves.
It's your girl, Monet. You already know I'm here to say I love you. Okay, if you haven't, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Join the vibe so that you know when your sister goes like so. You already know where diamonds are shining. Time for us to go, go, go. Okay, so I'm here
And I'm going to take my time today.
today because I feel like last week I really rushed the message and
I don't know.
I just feel different. We're in a season and a time where we are preparing for whatever is next, not understanding or foreseeing the future or knowing what's going to happen, but understanding that the best is on its way. Okay, so the message I heard very loud and clearly is basically from falling from grace to falling gracefully. Okay, so that can mean a number of things. That can mean like at one point in time, we've all been at our highest. We've all been our best selves, in our opinion. That's why a lot of us live in the past or past tense. Um, from falling from grace to falling gracefully to me means like, okay, for example, I'm gonna use myself. At one point in time, I was at my pinnacle with readings. I was at the highest I thought I could ever be. I had many people watching me. I had a lot of support. I had many people who looked up to me that needed me. But in an instance, not even just an instant, one event took everything basically and allowed it to de-escalate me, like to humble me. I'm gonna say humble me because we don't necessarily know when death is gonna happen. We don't necessarily understand how the world is, but when you're in your ego and you're living in your ego, right? And you're at first it's you're doing it out of love, but then it comes from a place of doing it for the love. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I love you. I love your messages. I need you. You know what I'm saying? That's building ego. So the name of the channel is The Promised Land. I think it's really funny because right now me and my kids, mind you, I read the Bible to my kids every day. Something significant to Psalms 23 and Psalms 91 as well. Maybe you should read that daily. I know a lot of people don't really believe in, the Bible and everything, but if you are melanated, if you are Afrocentric, if you are, Latino descent or anything, the Bible is a really big structure for what our ancestors used to help them get through and overcome a lot of things, right? So Psalms 91 is the most powerful scripture in the whole Bible. It will help you be protected from anything, that is sent towards you internally, externally, known, unknown, seen, unseen. Basically, it's you declaring that, I'm going to rely on God. And I feel like that's where, when it comes to falling, I feel like, or from falling from grace, I feel like that's where we're at now because a lot of people don't really use the weapons or not even necessarily weapons, the things, the spiritual means and the spiritual things that our ancestors laid the foundation for. So Psalms 23 is beautiful as well because it's basically saying I'm walking, even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, like I'm walking through this valley, I'm blind, I can't see nothing, I'm trusting. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our trust, our faith is not really there anymore because we're trusting and faithing on having faith in, okay, they're going to deliver the message. Hey, love. Hi, love. I miss you too. I miss you so much. But I feel like we rely too much on outside when God gave us everything on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like we are powerful beings. God breathed the breath of life on us. That's why when people are doing rituals and they're doing, protection work or spell work or whatever you want to say, they always tell you to breathe on what you're doing. You breathe life into any situation because that's pure prana. That's what God gave you. So breathe the life onto yourself. I feel like that's really the biggest message. Breathe life back into yourself. Give it back to you because we give so much energy and we exalt so many people like, "Oh my god, I love my reader. Oh my god, I love my friend. I love the person who can, lift me up." But in reality, we're taken away from ourselves. The Bible says God is within us, she will not fail. And I feel like that is for both men and women because God is within. God is in us. You know what I'm saying? It's the godliness in me that you see that helps us be relatable to each other because it's not me, I'm the vessel. So you need to see yourself as a vessel as well. Okay? So when I say falling from grace, I mean falling from ego, death to the human self, death to the flesh as in, okay, my mind, my body, this is what the world is expecting of me. But have I really taken our time to sit and realize what it is that God is expecting of me? I feel like that's why we fail. That's why we're falling. Because in reality, Lucifer, Satan, whoever you want to call him, the devil, you know what I'm saying? He was God's right hand. Like, he was God's angel in the Bible. Like, when you read the scripture of Job, when you read about Job, God, like, the devil is like bored on earth. He don't have nothing to do. You feel what I'm saying? He's like, I done did everything. I done tempted everybody. And he goes up to heaven to bang it up with God and be like, yo, like, you got anybody that you want me to tempt? Like, and he like, well, go. Have you considered my servant Job? Like, I bet you they're making bets. God is making bets with the devil. Like, I bet you if you try to tempt Job, you can take everything from him as long as you don't kill him. You know what I'm saying? I bet you he's still not gonna, forsake me. I bet you he's still not gonna not own me or not serve me. And Job stood the test of time. God took everything from Job, right? But Job did not. Job defiled himself. Job was like, I cursed the day I was born. You know what I'm saying? He said stuff things about himself, but he never ever gave up on God. And I feel like that's really where we lack in society, or we lack as a consciousness, because we cut out that godly consciousness which is within us. Like, all the chakras are connecting to one God frequency. And I've been studying frequency a lot, and it's really like whatever this shirt says, I match energy. So what we going to say? And I don't match energy necessarily with people, but I match energy with my surroundings, with my environment. Like, for example, my plant Grace is in my window. Me and her is on a frequency. Why? Because I named you Grace, because God's grace is sufficient for all our needs. It says that. You know what I'm saying? We lose sight of that godliness, and that's when we fall. The devil was up there. The devil, the minister of music. He's the Satan, Lucifer, was the angel of music. You know what I'm saying? Music is very important to God. So when he fell from grace, when he tumbled, that's because he got an ego. He forgot about, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Not necessarily because, oh, this is my purpose. This is what I'm doing this for. But man, they love me. You know what I'm saying? The crowds is going crazy. The music is banging. There's Bach and Beethoven, and they we lose sight of who we are. Why? Because we put so much energy and praise into the gift versus being the gift. Because it's not necessarily something we do or something that we've learned. It's who we are. If we have a gift, and that's something that God has given to us. It's our talent. It's natural. You can write, you can dance, you can sing, you can speak. Some people have that affinity to do other things that other people can't. For a long time, you will be suppressed by your own self, because you're like, oh, I can't do it like this person. I can't get the love like this person. And that's how you fall. That's where you start to tumble. Why are you losing faith in something that God gave you the faith for? You know? So, falling gracefully. That's a beautiful way. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to fall. I surrender. I don't know what's next, but I'm going to fall. I don't understand why I'm saying this, but I'm going to fall. I'm surrendering and I'm falling. It's crazy because, yes, ma'am. Look at Butter. She lost her tooth, yo. Like, look at my baby. Say hi to Bud. Your niece is so big now. But it's crazy because I was meditating on the word before I got on here, and I always do like today's prayer. I always do it. It says, "The Lord is near to all who call on Him." Psalms 145:18. So, the Lord is with you. The Lord is near to you. So you should, versus going outside of yourself, go within now. 22, 23. I don't know. You could be 22, you could be 23, or 1, 2, 3. You could be getting to a level, new devil energy. All right. It says, I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. Philippians 4:11 and 12. So don't wait for the bus at the train stop. Don't be waiting for somebody to give you the message when you have the message. You just have to meditate on it. You need to understand what it is that God is really saying to you. Because where you feel like you're lacking, God is like, yeah, right there. I need you right there. I need you in that moment. I need you understanding that it's not because of you, but it's because of me. It's because of the divinity that I put in you, that I want people to see me. Okay? So fall gracefully. It's okay to fall. It's okay to not be on everybody's level. It's okay to not feel like oh, I'm not where I want to be at 29. I'm not in the house, the car. I see people doing this, that, and the third. Here you go, that's yours. But I'm not there. That's where God wants you to be. You know. Divine timing works. Time is an illusion. This is not a race. This is a sprint. Like we're running a marathon. We're understanding why we're being put here. We're taking our time and we're really cultivating ourselves, not feeling like we have to, you know, post what other people are posting, doing what other people are doing, not feeling like we have to do it for the love. Because in real life, that's not. People do things for the love all day. You make music for the love. You know what I'm saying. You be present for the love. You put yourself out there for the love. But in reality, you not feeling love. You know what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, you could be the richest person in the world. You can have everything that it is that you feel like you want, that you feel like you need, but in reality, that's really nothing. That's really it. Really not doing nothing for your soul. So instead of being so, I feel like 2024, we need to get back into consciousness. We need to get back into real spirituality. We need to get back into like real life, getting into either some type of word, regardless if it's the Bible, the Quran, ancient tarot and script. I feel like we really need to dive. We need to take time out to not be so busy with our schedules to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to see the Mayan ruins. I'm going to go to the Pyramid of Giza. I feel like I'm going to figure out, okay, what is this teaching me? Not versus why me, but what is this lesson? What is this lesson I have to learn? How am I really going to heal from this? Why do I feel like I need to go outside of myself for answers? In reality, we're put here for this. We're here for this freedom. God, listen, every book in the Bible, every story in the Bible is about the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall, and only the fall because God has to have his glory. Adam and Eve, the rise, the fall. You know what I'm saying? Abraham, the rise, the fall. Joseph, the rise, the fall, the rise. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of where you are on the roller coaster, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be at your lowest, but you still gonna get to the very top. So don't even worry because that's what life really is. Life is like you have to take it with strides. You have to be like, listen, regardless of where I'm at now, this is exactly where I need to be, and I'm learning from this, and I'm understanding my position and why I'm here. I'm stepping into who I was made to be, who I'm, my power. Like you really, people are a reflection of you. Your circumstances are a reflection of you. Your animals are a reflection of you. Your where you live at is a reflection of you. So why not figure out, okay, so what am I reflecting? What am I putting out there for the world? If you're sad and people see this happy person all the time, but you're really, really sad, you need to know that it's okay that you don't always have to be happy. Even though this is where you should be to the world. Oh, I should be happy. You know, 2023 didn't turn me every which way but loose. You know, I'm really sad, but I'm going to put on the facade of being happy. Feelings want to be felt. Emotions cannot be ignored. That's why God gave them to us. That's what I teach my children. That's what I teach people. Like you can't just be this shallow person. You can't just be who the world expects you to be. Be who you want to be. I mean, it's okay to be sad and to be like, okay, I'm gonna be happy, but I'm gonna be hopeful. Because when I tell you, what is faith? Faith is the evidence of things not seen. You stay hopeful. You be like, okay, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not the happiest person. I'm not the happiest version of me, but I'm still going to be happy regardless of my circumstances because I know I have this higher purpose. Because I know that God didn't bring me up to bring me down, not to bring me back up. When you on that ground, when you at your lowest, the only other place for you to go is up. That's how the elevator works. So you just need to know that you have a higher purpose and you're going to tap into that frequency as long as you just be whoever it is God wants you to be. Me personally, I'm not doing signs no more. And that's only because I feel like it's not necessarily a sign thing. We are all these signs. We are made up of Sagittarius, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, Cancer. We are made up of all these signs. We are stars. We have been in every situation. If you look at the constellation, you can see that. You know what I'm saying? But are you safe? Are you fearless? Like, what is? I don't feel like I have to share this. I don't feel like if this is the message. If you gonna get it, you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see this, this is for you. Point blank. Period. Like, tapping into this energy of who you are, what you want to be, what it is that you really want from this life. This is a soul trip. This is you're a human being having a spirit. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. So on this human experience, right? Are you safe? Are you happy? Are you tapping into the knowledge that God gave you, that your ancestors gave you? Look at all these books. We just talked about how we don't even use the Bible or anything anymore, and that's what our ancestors used. And it could be so easy. It could be so simple. But we just want to chart our own course. Sometimes the course is already charted for you, but it's free will. It's good versus evil. It's, oh, I want to be XYZ, you know what I'm saying? But I really am meant for this. Or I really love to do this, but because it's cool to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow the crowd. It's okay to be the black sheep. It's okay to not be a product of your environment. It's okay to let people's expectations down. Like, I don't want to be who anybody who expects me to be. I just want to be me. I don't want anybody to think less of me, and I don't care if you do think less of me. I don't want you to think more of me. Just know that I'm me. I'm happy. I'm somebody. I'm a mother, lover, healer, other. That's crazy. All right. But when you get into that energy, when you get into that knowledge and that safety of within, and you get into happiness just because I'm happy, then that's how you tap into purpose. You feel what I'm saying? That's how you tap into abundance, because authenticity is really the key to wealth. When you be your authentic self, then that's how you tap into your wealth, love. Why? If you can really reveal who you truly are, not just to the world, but to you, because you are your star player. You are the only person in your story that matters. Because in reality, nobody else exists unless you make them a factor. You're fully supported in all that you do. I want you to know that. So it's okay for you to tune out negative thoughts, negative people. It's okay for you to not harbor animosity, but for you to feel some type of way because somebody hurt you with intention. Okay, it's okay for you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna forget, but I'm not gonna forget, but I'm gonna remove myself. You know, and I'm gonna remain hopeful that whatever God has for me, I'm even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, and I may not see anything. I may not know where I'm going, but I know I'm following my heart. Libra energy. I know that if I tune into who I am, and I know if I fall with grace, I know if I gracefully just be here, even during my fall, that I'm still going to tune into my intuition. I'm going to tune out the rest of the world. I'm going to lock in with my heart and my mind, because that's really all that matters, you know? And that's what makes you worthy. Because God didn't put you here to be like, oh my God, they're doing this and they're doing that, and I need to be doing this, and I need to get advice from this person, and I need to go over here, and I got a tattoo yesterday, right? And I think my tat lady said the most powerful thing, and I even asked her for her opinion, you know what I'm saying? But she knows that tattoos for me are like therapy. She was like, I think it's cool to be the dreamer. I think it's cool for you to just be whoever you want to be, because everybody ain't conventional. Everybody ain't practical. Everybody's not meant to be that way. Imagine if we lived in a practical ass world where everybody was the same, and that's really where they're trying to make us be. Then we wouldn't have no dreamers. We wouldn't have anybody who see things in color. It'd be just black and white. This black and white facade of, oh, I'm happy. I'm gonna put on this smile like I'm happy, but are you really happy? You have all the knowledge that you need to move forward in this season and this time and this year. Okay, you can forgive yourself and be perceptive to who you are, because it doesn't matter what people think about you. It doesn't matter what people have to say. You've done this in every lifetime, and in this lifetime, you're just asking yourself, okay, I'm open to receiving all the information. I'm open to being who it is that I was born to be, who I was crafted, my soul was crafted to be. But what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? All right? How can I release this? How can I release this energy so it can flow through me, because emotions and feelings want to be filled? How can I heal from within me, because when one is healed, all is healed. You know what I'm saying? So that I can be this unbreakable person. So that I can know that even though I walk through hell, I'm still an angel. Even though I walk through hell gracefully, I'm still an angel. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly why you're good enough for whatever is coming. That's why you're sacred, because you're going to tap into this energy of your passions. Not passions because, oh, because they love me for it, but because this is what I love. Because this is what God put in me. You know? So we about to tap into past life energy. And look, when I say Pyramid of Giza energy, pyramids, Egypt, you had a significant past life in Egypt that you've come to this life to be able to, like I said, to heal karmic relationships, karmic patterns, maybe with your father, maybe with Christ, you know what I'm saying? Maybe with religion, maybe with whatever it is that they taught you, maybe spouse. But I'm trying to tell you, in every life, you were able to channel this energy to talk to God. I think it's funny how a lot of people be like, "Oh, you can't really get to God unless you go through the Son," and I believe that to an extent. But we all have the ability to talk to God because prayer, God is within us. We will not fail. Okay, but you are the high priestess, and maybe you need to heal this orphan energy. Maybe you feel alone, even in a crowded room. But I'm telling you, God put you here for so much more. In your past life, maybe you were a knight. Maybe you were very important. Maybe you were very regal and you had to follow commands and live life in black and white, but you still had this connection with God. You still understood what it is God wanted for you. So in this life, maybe you just learned forgiveness. Not even just forgiving others, but forgiving you, forgiving yourself, forgiving your ancestors, forgiving your lineage for putting you up to the task to be the generational curse breaker, for you to have to take the fall. Because so many people in the Bible came before so many people who had to take the fall. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people who never even had to take a fall. But your falling gracefully is going to be able to heal everything that was ever talk to you, your ancestors. Look, Egypt again, your mother, your father. You know, you're healing through writing, through finances, through understanding. Your healing is very important.
Your mind, your body.
Body, your wisdom, where you come from. Maybe you come from a small town. I come from a small town, and everybody's the same, and everything happens the same.
Download. And every life,
In
and
every life, you had some sense of wisdom. You had some sense of purpose. You had some sense of faith. But I feel like where the fall comes from is when you allow other people to disturb your faith, when you allow people to put their input on the faith, when you stop understanding that grace is sufficient for your needs.
you are
This
the
medicine man or woman, you have this knowledge that God has always give you. That's why people come to you. That's why people understand you. That's why you understand people on a depth that they can't even fathom. Like, oh, how did you know that about me? How could you? I feel like in every life you were supposed to heal your fears. Oh, well, what if they hate me? What if they don't accept me? What if they don't? Hmm.
something about fears.
Here,
It's so funny that Greece.
came out because I was reading the book of Daniel, and you know, in the book of Daniel, it tells you about how Daniel. Mm,
Thank you, God.
Okay, so Daniel was put into the lions den, right? And this is the fall. This is another fall, okay? So Daniel and Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, you know, they were all Israelites. They were all people from Israel. When they had to get away from Israel, when Israel was invaded and they were taken away and they were put into the king's presence, the king sought favor in their eyes because they didn't do as all the other people who sojourned in that land. Like, for example, the king was like, okay, I want y'all here. This is what you're going to do. The Enochs, this is what you're going to do. You tell them they're going to eat what I eat. They're going to drink what I drink. They're going to do as I do. They're going to study what I study. You know what I'm saying? And Daniel was like, I'm an Israelite. No, I can't do that. I can't do that because my God says I can't drink this. I can't eat this. So give us fruits and vegetables and see if it's fit in the king's eyes. They became the high priest and the mystics to this king because they didn't do as the king told them to do, and they did it blindly, having faith that regardless of what I do, I'm trusting that God is gonna make him do what he do for me. I trust God's grace over my own. I trust faith over fear. You feel what I'm saying? And what happened? They were the strongest ones that were sojourning in the land. They were healthier, and and the king chose them to be, you know what I'm saying, in the presence of the king. So then when it came to depicting the dreams and telling about the dreams, none of the mystics, none of the people that were prophets, none of the high priests in the area, none of the spell workers, none of them could depict the king's dreams, but Daniel could. And that's only because God gave him the message. See, when you given a message, and when you take your time with the message, when you go to God about the message, and you don't be like, oh, I'm doing it for, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing it because this is what I love, but I'm not doing it for the love. God is going to give you the clarity that you need, just like He gave Daniel the clarity from dreams. So what happened? All them people ran to Daniel because they knew that he could depict their dreams. You feel what I'm saying? They knew that he could pray to God, and God would make him go to sleep, and then he would see the dreams, and then he would tell them the dreams. And the angel came to Daniel every time. This is the rise, okay? This is the first. This is one of the them being finding grace in the king's eyes was the rise, but them being able to, being Daniel being able to be like, okay, this is your dream and this is what it is. That's the rise, okay? So him, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, he was like, okay, you were able to tell me my dreams. I'll make you my most high priest. I'm gonna put you in a very high position, and I'm gonna also take Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and I'm gonna put them in high places too. You feel what I'm saying? So once they were put in these high places as well, the fall starts, the ego starts, the death starts. So when that starts to take place, the people were jealous. The other mystics and priests were jealous of the people that God had ordained or put in that place. So what happened? They said, okay, we're going to make statues of gold of the king. And for example, if y'all don't praise this person, if y'all don't praise every time the music plays or every time the bells ring, whoever doesn't do it is going to be put in the fire. Whoever doesn't do it is going to be put in the furnace. They wasn't going for that. The same way Daniel wasn't eating that food, the people that was with him was not going for that. So what happened? The people who set it up that way told on him. They snitched. They let him know like, yo, these people is not serving you. They're not doing what you told them to do, right? So Shadrach was like, yeah, we ain't doing that. We're not praising you. We're not giving you glory. We're not giving you praise. We're not getting into your ego. You know what I'm saying? So what happened? They put him in the furnace. They was like, it's cool, put me in the furnace because you're gonna put me in the furnace, but because of my faith, because of my knowing in my God, I'm gonna go ahead and go in the furnace. And I bet you're gonna put me in this furnace, but at the same time, God is gonna come rescue me. Especially because that's who I'm doing this for in the first place. I'm here because of my God. I'm gonna be put in the furnace because of my God. Boom. They had burned the furnace so hot that everybody, the people who threw them in the furnace died, right? So the king, they looking in the furnace, they seeing the three that they put them in there, and they seeing the fourth person, which is the angel that came to save them. So guess what? That was the fall. That was being in the furnace was the fall, but falling gracefully, I should say, because even though they knew that they was going into the fire, they knew that God was gonna bring them out because of their faith. You feel what I'm saying? So then they got out. Daniel wasn't even in this situation. Daniel didn't even have nothing to do with it. Daniel was in his high place minding his business. So once they got out, they got exalted. They got exalted. Every everything they took down the golden statue of the king. The king is literally exalting God because they like, I threw you in the fire and you came out and you wasn't even scorched. Your clothes wasn't cindered. You wasn't burned to a crisp. You wasn't even touched. So the king starts praising God. The king starts being thankful to God because he sees like, oh, maybe my ego is getting in the way of my blessings. My ego is getting in the way of my blessings to my people, to my kingdom. And then David is not David. David is a whole nother story. We're gonna talk about David on another day. But Daniel, still in his high place, he's still his high priestess. He's still the most high priest, especially because they came to him with the dream. And that refers me to a whole nother reading that I did like a whole 2 3 years ago, and God just said, God will give you the vision or give you a dream that other people can't see. That's a whole nother word. That's a whole nother word. But today we're gonna talk about falling gracefully, right? So
They out of the fire now.
they out of the pit. They exalted. So they went from up, down, up again. So now the king is having dreams again. The king is having dreams again that he can't understand. He don't understand why he's having these dreams. He can't depict them. None of his high priestess, none of his mysticals, none of these people can depict these dreams. None of these people could tell him really was good. Daniel could. So they go and get Daniel. Daniel was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Again, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna go to sleep. The angel comes back and tells Daniel. This time he said he seen writing. No, that was his son who saw the writing on the wall. That's a whole nother story. That the king's son, after the king went to the wilderness and had to be, you know, he lived out the rest of his life losing his mind and eating grass like the cows. But that's ego will put you in places that you never want to be. Okay, so Daniel comes. Daniel tells him the dream. He exalts Daniel again. So we going from a rise to a rise to a rise. We at the top right now. We the highest we can get. So of course, there's always a hater in the mix of something that God is doing for you. It's always somebody with a monkey wrench to the plan that God has. But it's cool because faith and grace is sufficient enough for all your needs. And that's all it is every time. And mind you, this is Greco-Roman era, right? So, ooh, this is how I know. This is how I know because I picked up this Greece and trust and faith is right behind it with this angel. We're talking about angels. We're talking about the fall from grace to falling gracefully, right? So, my God, thank you, Lord. So, listen, the high priestess was mad. The high priestess, the mysticals of the land, they were mad. So they put out another decree. Everybody's gonna pray to the king. For a whole 30 days, a whole 40 days, everybody's going to pray to the king nonstop. Daniel was not praying to nobody but God because he is an Israelite. He understands his position. He's not praying to nobody but God. So as soon as he heard this decree, what did he do? He went home and started praying to God faithfully, nonstop, praying without ceasing, which is the Bible, which is what the Bible tells us to do. You know what I'm saying? So he's continually praying. He's continually praying. The mystics, they come and they see him through his window. They see him praying. They see him praying and they run back and tell the king, like, oh, you know, Daniel, the one that you put up so high, the one that you put up so high is not afraid of the verdict or the edict that you put out. He's out there praying to his God. The king was sick. The king didn't even want to go to Daniel to, you know what I'm saying, to fulfill the edict. Why? Because he already knew. Daniel then came through for you so many times. Daniel's homeboys then got rescued from the fire. So he says a little prayer for Daniel. Then he's like, okay, go ahead, go put him in the lion's den. What do? They go to Daniel's house. They put him in the lion's den. Daniel is like, you gonna do whatever you gonna do with me because I know whatever you gonna do, my God is gonna come and he's gonna rescue me. What do? They put him in the lion's den. They put him in the lion's den. They shut the door. They rolled a rock over the door, right? He in there. The next day come. The king is like, couldn't sleep all night, up, pins and needles, trying to figure out what happened. The next day, they rolled the stone away from the rock. Daniel's in there kicking it with the lion. Like, God has shut up the whole lion's mouth. They chilling. You feel what I'm saying? The angel, Daniel, the lion with his mouth shut because of faith, because of trust, because of understanding. Daniel was saved again. You feel what I'm saying? So, with all this being said, the people that was against him, the same thing that the same traps that people would try to design for your fall will be the same things that God uses for your glory, for you to be from falling gracefully, from falling to grace. You know what I'm saying? They threw them people in the lion's den. Instantly, the lion's mouth was open and they was killed. Instantly, like not even they didn't even have time to roll the rock away. They started getting torn up. But that's because that's ego. Ego. Oh, I'm gonna hate on somebody just because I don't have their status. Oh, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Trust and faith is what saved Daniel. Trust and faith is what saved Shadrach, Kashak, Meshach. I don't even know if I'm saying their names right, but I know it's Shadrach, Kashak, Meshach, Abednego. I think Abednego was. That's a whole. I think Shadrach was Daniel, but that's a whole nother story. Okay. When you lose sight of the faith and the trust that God gave us, because we was born with faith and trust. We had faith and trust to even get here. Like, you know what it means to go through a cycle of 9 months of being in the dark, in water, and just evolving and growing. I'm pretty sure we was afraid when we came out just because of the way that people are born into this world, in the hospitals and stuff. But whole time we had trust and faith. It's life that gives us these fears. It's life that disconnects us from where it is that we want to be. It's the communal living, you know what I'm saying? The people that we go to that stop us from the teachings that our ancestors had already instilled. I'm pretty sure when we pick this life and we pick this lifestyle or we pick this plan, the ancestors equipped us like, okay, you're gonna go down there, right? I'm gonna give you all these verses in the Bible to help you combat any spiritual warfare, any attacks. Use Psalms 23, use Psalms 91. You know what I'm saying? This is all stuff they learned from their imprisonment or their slavery. This is stuff that got them through those years of, not even having the. I couldn't even fathom. I couldn't. I thank God all the time. I thank my ancestors all the time. I love them all the time just for what they had to go through. But even in the midst of what they went through, they were so wise to who they were. They were so good to even put their faith upon their before their fear to be like, man, listen, I don't care if you're gonna beat me, master. Go ahead and beat me because I'm here for this. Ain't even for me. And that's Abraham. Abraham that had that faith. Like, listen, do what you gonna do, man. Listen, I do what you gonna do. This is for my generations to come. He said that he vowed to me that as long as I be faithful to him and I follow him, he's going to my offsprings, my descendants are going to outnumber the stars. So when you make a vow, you know what I'm saying, with the Most High, with God, with your with your guru, with the person who you deem person, spirit, place, thing, whatever that you deem to, you know what I'm saying, put you here or to help you, you need to know you don't have to worry about food and hunger. You don't have to worry about what's coming, when is it coming. You don't have to worry about the fall necessarily. All you got to do is just tap into them lessons. Because the lessons really be blessings for you in disguise. Like, falling from grace probably was the best thing that could have ever happened to Lucifer. Why? Because he wanted to be like God. He wanted people to acknowledge him the same way that God was acknowledged. That's really the reason why he took the fall in the first place. God still, as long as I can still talk to him, as long as I can still deal with him, as long as people can still do what I want them to do, and God is like, okay, well we're gonna roll the dice. Go try Job. I'm a bust it up with you. Go read Job. If you don't believe what I'm saying, go read the book of Job. I'm trying to tell you. You'll see how many times the devil came back to heaven to talk to God about tempting this man because he done did everything. He was bored. He done ran the streets. He done did everything that he thought he could do. He done had people out here feeling orphan, unrequited love. Go test Job. Job stood the test. Job took a fall, but guess what? When the fall was over and he accepted his fall gracefully, God gave him everything back times 10. He lost his kids, he lost his money, he lost his wife, he lost everything he had. He was the richest man in the land. But sometimes you have to lose in order just to win. Now you from Atlantis. You got this Atlantean past life, and Atlantis is very important, okay? Because that was a very, 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 very. I rebuke you, Lord. I rebuke it. Not coming against my throat chakra, not today. That was a very, very advanced civilization. So you're putting together the pieces of the puzzle, right? And all the knowledge that you have is from every past life. Somebody's father, somebody's father, significant with the arts. Something about a father. You could have a father wounding in this life that makes you feel orphaned, a mother father one, and God is just like, I had to use that. Hey, best friend, I miss you, Aaron. I had to use that so that you could tap into the arts. I had to vow to you. We took a vow under a tree. I vowed to you that if you heal these lessons, if you learn from unrequited love, from food and hunger, if you learn that I will be meeting and providing all of your needs with food and hunger, if you learn the lessons in the timely manner that you learn, if you learn how to walk away from unrequited love, if you learn how to forgive your father, your mother, the people that you feel orphaned from, then I'm going to vow that I'm going to exalt you in other ways. I'm going to exalt you in your gifts. Maybe you were a monk or a nun. Maybe you took a vow to God. Maybe something about an Irish past life. Maybe you went to war and battles and you prayed every day to make it home. But God was like, everything that you took for granted in that life, He's going to go ahead and give it back to you in this life, especially if you were persecuted for being the high priestess. Especially if you had things to say and people came with the Inquisition and they wanted to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Doing this right now, they would have been like, oh, we about to hang her. We about to burn her at the stake. She's just doing too much. She's telling too many people the business. God was like, okay, in this life, you look. In this life, you was a nun. In this life, you didn't have requited love. In this life, you didn't have the father, the mother. In this life, you felt far from me. But in the next life, I'm going to give you that love life. And then in the next life, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make you that writer. I'm going to make sure they publish your books. You're going to take the fall, but I promise you that your finances is going to be sustained from my grace. I promise you that all the things that you did in your Native American past life didn't go in vain. I promise you that if you heal from these karmic relationships, that I'm going to give you good health and I'm going to get you prepared for your next one. I promise you, if you go through this slave time and this imprisonment, and I grant you forgiveness, you're going to remember your galactic upbringing because you're from the stars. You are a star. I promise if you understand that Archangel Michael, Prince Michael is coming to save Israel, and you connect back to me, even after the Greek took over, that I'm going to give you everything you need. Just connect to the Bible. Don't listen to what them people are saying to make you scared in your communities. Have faith in me. Have trust in me. See, that's the lesson. The lesson that's really to be learned from the fall is that I'm falling gracefully. I'm going to let go and I'm going to let God. I'm going to let go. I'm going to let spirit. I'm going to let go. I'm going to let universe. I'm going to let go and I'm going to know that I'm always provided for in every life. I don't ever have to be on nobody else's time. I don't ever have to be anybody else other than myself. And that's what gives you back everything from this past life where you were, you know, the number one scholar. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust and faith is really all you need to help you fall gracefully. Young devils become wise monks, and that helps you connect with purpose. Maybe you are supposed to be a writer. Maybe you have something that you need to say. Maybe that's going to help you heal your ancestral lineage. Maybe you are a spiritual teacher. I want you to know you're on the right path. The counsel that you seek outside of yourself is always within you. You have a book that is waiting to be born. You are a teacher. You are a builder. You are whoever God is. You are whoever you want to be because God gave you that choice, especially in this life because you went through so much for Him in the past life. All you need is sensitivity. What did I tell you? It says you're becoming more sensitive and need to take time. You need to make changes accordingly. You are a leader. Your faith is what makes you a leader. Your faith, your understanding of every life, your understanding of I don't know what I'm doing here, but I understand that it's for light and love. It's preparing you for the greatest gift that God has. You think that what you're doing right now is insignificant. You feel like whatever you're saying to the people right now is insignificant, but in reality, it's preparing you to be the star. You already are a star, love. You are a diamond and they can't break you. In a world full of squares, you're blessed to be a dime. People see life in black and white and you see shit in color, and that's beautiful. People listen to the same music and you're creating the music. God promised you infinite abundance. All you have to do is tap into it. All you have to do is continue to take care of your animals. All you have to do is just continue to take care of yourself. Love yourself, love others, regardless of what they do to you. Okay? Have the strength to know that you have these options. You have these options. You have everything you need, even if it's not much. Hold on. If you feel like what you don't have is much, maybe you should take a trip around the world and see all the other places who don't have nothing. It's just time for you to decide. This healing, this healer that you are, regardless if it's reading cards, regardless if it's being a nurse, regardless if it's making music, regardless of what it is that you were called for or your gifts in this life, is not for you. It's not for you. It is for you at this moment, at this time. The gracefully falling is really to help your children. You know what I'm saying? It's really to expand your studies and your knowledge of the energy healing, the frequencies. I told you, you tapping into a frequency. You are relating to others. You're relating to your environment. All you gotta do is just trust and talk to your angels. Talk to God. Talk to yourself. Be like, self, myself saying, I am that spiritual teacher. I am who you wanted me to be because it's not for me. It's not for the love. It's because I love you. It's because this is what you made me do. This is what I love. And I just told you I got this knowledge. I got this message really from the person I would least expect it. My tat lady. This card says body work. She was an oracle. She's an oracle and she don't even know it. She has a message and doesn't even understand. She helps healing because shit, getting tattoos is healing and therapeutic to me. So don't wait for the bus at the train station, love. Okay? I had the blues because I had no shoes upon the street I met a man who had no feet. It could be worse. Just for today, I try to adjust myself to what is and not try to adjust everything to my own desires. I know what you want. I know everybody wants the same thing these days. You the house, the car, the money, the status, all of that you need to take a fall for. Because in order for you to be a star, stars fall from the sky all the time. You got to shoot through the night. Look, what I tell you, in order for you to be the star, listen, this is not for you. This is for the people to come. You're breaking the chains. You're breaking the curses. You're setting up boundaries so that you could be the star to your children. You could be the star to your neighbors. You could be the star to, whoever it is that needs you to be the star in their life. Celebrities ain't stars, baby. They're not. You're a pillar of light to everybody around you. So answer the call. It says, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. That means I'm not going outside of myself. I'm trusting. I'm having faith. I'm sustaining. I'm going the distance. You know? Why? Because you're answering the call on your life. What is your soul calling you to do? If you hate that job, quit that shit. If you hate those people, if you hate that energy, get away from it. You are protected. And this is helping you wage war as you fall gracefully. So that when you're falling to grace and you get to where it exactly is where God wants you to be, you'll answer and say yes. You'll answer the call and you'll say, yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way, God. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to worry. I don't give a fuck about what them people say. I don't care what they think of me. Why? Because you ain't got to dim your light to fit in. I told you, in a world full of squares, you blessed to be a dime. So trust your path and know that it's okay to say no, to pause, to postpone. It's okay to feel like you're not from this planet. It's okay. And why is it okay? Because you're just aligning yourself. You're aligning yourself for the fall. Okay, some people don't want to fall. People try to avoid the fall at all costs. But the fall really helps you. The fall will help you create this heaven on earth. Create and become who it is that you want to be. Get grounded with yourself. Okay? Get grounded with who you are. Because then the proposals, the offers, whatever it is that was meant for you in this lifetime can come to you. People gonna paint you as the villain every time. But that's not gonna stop what God has for you. Okay? What God has for you, no person, no man, no beast, no animal, no place, no thing can separate you from the goodness and the love of God, from His promise to you. I promise you that. And it's hidden right now, but it's hidden because you have to fall gracefully so that you can get to paradise. I was watching this video the other day, right? And it was about these people in the Bahamas, and they was on like one of them boats, and it was sinking, but they still was on their way to paradise. You are influential in whatever it is that you're doing. If it's reading cards, if it's, just giving a good word to your neighbor, if it's being a friend or a good listener, if it's being a good parent, you are very influential. Continue to be the caregiver, but all that care and love that you give to the world, make sure you give to yourself first. And it's going to make you feel like you in the hot seat. But I bet you what, you'll be a good advisor. You'll go through the fall. You'll be like, listen, from the ashes I rise up and now I'm the phoenix. And people may think that I'm a late bloomer or you're the late bloomer, but in reality, you're just editing it all out. You're like, I'm editing. This is the same way we edit videos. I'm editing this out. I'm cutting this for my life. This can't go with me to the rise. And that's exactly why competition is going to be in the reverse. And that's why all the traps and all the snares that they put in it, they put you in the lion's den, but they was the one who got chewed the fuck up. They put you in the furnace, but they was the one who got burned the fuck up because they didn't know that God says, touch not my anointed. As long as you stay optimistic, you will be the final. Is your heart lighter than a feather? That's how the Egyptians used to figure out who was going to the afterlife. Is your heart lighter than a feather? God is like, listen, I'm going to make this lasting impression on your life so I can remove you from drama because you're going to a place that nobody else or people that's around you or people who wear masks or pretend can't go. And that's good because in reality, you already pictured this place. You already knew that this place exists. The place of the land with milk and honey, you knew about it. You're on your exodus. You're on your way out. You're descending. You're falling from grace so that you can fall gracefully. And in this graceful fall, you're reflecting. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you're reflecting on destiny. You're reflecting on, okay, I rolled the dice, and now whatever happened is gonna happen for my good. It's hidden because it's hidden from you because you're so intellectual, you're so smart, and you sleep on yourself so much. But can't nobody stop God. Listen, I'm telling you, what they want for you, the demise that they want for themselves, that they want for you, or they're really calling on themselves. Okay? Spend quality time with yourself. Spend quality time with God. Not for the wrong reasons either. Not for the love, not for the fame, not for the fortune. Just do it because it's what you love to do. Meet yourself there. Cry. It's okay to feel them emotions. Open up to who you really are to yourself. Because in the end, you're still going to win. In the end, they're still going to hear what you have to say. It's not a race. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. You're still going to get this engagement. You're still going to create paradise. You're still going to make heaven on earth. You're still going to get led to the land of milk and honey, even if takes you 40 years. God said that was a 3-day trip. That should turn into a 40-year trip. And that's all because ego. They building golden calves and you know what I'm saying? Like Moses turned his back for 5 minutes. He went up to talk to God for 5 minutes. They down here worshiping golden calves, doing stuff that they have no business doing. Whenever you feel like you falling and it's not graceful, whenever you feel like you're falling from grace and you can't catch yourself, just breathe and stay hopeful and optimistic because the intention for the fall is not for you to feel like giving up, but it's setting you up for security. It's helping you be able to listen. That's the invitation from God to be like, listen, who are you? You're loved. Remember who you are. Okay, quiet your mind. You are the master of your inner world, and you decide how the outer world affects you. Cultivate a calm within. You decide. You decide. You reassess. You set your priorities to what you want them to be, and then that's how you come back when you rising from your fall, and you get the success you want. You get these surprises that God has for you. You be sovereign in your energy because you took out the time to fall gracefully, and with that grace and that graceful fall, you pampered yourself. You learn self love. You learn how to be authentic. You learn that you were really beautiful, and you took action on your dreams, even when people doubted you. Possibilities are endless, baby. You're possible. So release this negative narrative on falling from grace. Because as soon as you change your mind, you change your life. I'm just saying. You change your mind, you change your life, you have better days to come. You know? Ten of Pentacles is coming to you. Because you took out the time to juggle these two pentacles. You walked through the wilderness for 40 years trying to figure out how you was going to have this ego death, how you was going to just surrender, how you was going to fall graceful. And as soon as you got into the land of milk and honey, instantly everything that you wanted was already yours. The Ten of Pentacles. Mm, that's a sweet victory to me. Because they hated you. Listen, in the hate and the fear and the upsetting and the traps that they thought they were going to set for you, this is you flying. This is you falling gracefully. Like, shit, I'm a fall, but I'm falling gracefully. You want it, I got it. It's happening. They wanted you to be sad, but in reality, they didn't even know that you were going to still rise from the ashes. You fell, but now you're rising up and you're being this unstoppable person. You're this queen or king of wands. You're passionate. You're ready to light up the light. You're ready to work with spirit to literally get whatever it is that he promised you because he vowed, like, listen, I promise you, if you just take the fall for me, baby. I'm gonna give you options in this life. I'm gonna give you this blessing. I'm going to give you what it is that you need. I'm going to bring somebody in to help pour into your cup. All you got to do is just be strong and know that whatever you need is within 444 on the time. For life, for love, eternity. For life, for love, for eternity. Keep working on you. It's literally never, you're never done healing. Even when you think you are. But guess what? All that work is going to help you cut out the bullshit, cut out the middleman. It's going to help you connect with your ancestors, your guides, and it's going to get you ready for these official offers, for this official Hierophant energy, for you to be so official. Mm. All of the cards is falling. A new beginning is coming to you, Empress or Emperor. Why? Because you fell with grace. You fell gracefully. Sorry, y'all. You're done. You're like, listen, I don't care what the world wants from me. I'm going to go ahead and step in this judgment. I'm going to go ahead and take this fall. I'm going to go ahead and know that as long as I fall with grace, with understanding, why am I falling? What is this teaching me? You'll rise up and be the star. It's okay. It's okay to leave certain people, places, and things out in the cold because they was just set up to break your heart anyway. This is all systematic. This is just the clarity that you needed. That fortune is coming. You know, my grandma used to be like, weeping may endure for a night, but joy always comes in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I will fear no evil. You're gonna walk through through that valley, and you're gonna be blind, and you're not gonna be able to see. I bet you ain't gonna trip. I bet you ain't gonna stumble. Not if you got faith. Look, what is she doing? Walking through a valley. Walking through a valley. But she ain't falling, she ain't stumbling, she ain't looking back. Why? Because she was ready for the fall. She was ready to go within and put a death to everything. And as soon as she fell, them same people who was plotting on the fall have to watch her rise, have to watch him rise. You took out the time to get in that water, baby. You took out the time to temperate yourself. A death to the ego was significant for you to be able to get what God had for you. Because where you're going, God needs to use your rise for his glory. So it's time to make the decision. Are you going to fall with grace or are you going to fall on your face? Okay? Because you can get with this or you can get with that. From the prison to the palace, working with people that's like mind, like soul on the same mission as you.
But I see you.
Just keep on working. Because I'm telling you, you're on your way. You about to get out this ocean. You about to sing. You about to dance. You're no longer about to be suspense. You waiting for answers every day when the answers is just within. You just not quiet enough to hear them. That's all you gotta do is just get quiet, and that's what's gonna bring you your justice. That's what's gonna bring you your justice. That's what's gonna give you everything that you want. The devotion. The devotion to yourself is how you bring devotion from other people. The devotion to spirit is how you bring devotion. The devotion to your ancestors and your guides and your angels, the people who worked hard for you to be put in this pinnacle, is going to help you forgive and heal. Learn your love language. Everything falling. Family and friends. Your soul family is on the way. The people that you really supposed to work with is coming. Why? To help you feel secure, to support you emotionally, to give you things money can't. That life partner you want is coming. The children you want is coming. The communication that you want is coming. You're ready for this. You're ready for love. You're ready for abundance. You are a magnet to these things. As long as you fall gracefully. You can
Either fall from grace,
with grace, or you could fall on your face.
but it's coming. It's all coming.
Be patient. But I love you. Okay? It's been a minute, but we back in it. This is a sprint. This is not a race. This is a marathon. Time for you to make that move. Because the rainbow is here for you. Remember, God is a rainbow. You're just a beautiful pot of gold in the end. Okay? And in the end, you're gonna rise, you're gonna fall, but you'll rise again. And I love you though. Like, share, subscribe, and join the vibe so that you can come and talk to me. Really wanna read you. Can I talk to you? I know you wanna know. Oh, oh, later.